Okay, if you're having trouble with the models for division, this video should help. So when we have a division problem, let's take, for example, 5 divided by 1/3. What is this question asking? It's asking, how many thirds are in 5? So I'll write that out. How many thirds in 5? That's what the question's asking. So let's draw a model. I'm going to draw a model of 5. So my tape diagram is going to have 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's my tape diagram of 5. 5 whole things. How many thirds are in that? Well, if I take 1 unit and break that up into thirds, and then I do that for each unit, I'm going to divide each unit into thirds. I can figure out how many thirds are in 5 wholes. Because I know there's 3 thirds in 1 whole, so then in 5 wholes there would be 3 times 5. So there would be 15 thirds in 5. Now, a good tip would be to do the math first and then draw your model to make sure your model matches. So if I'm going to do the math, I'm going to do 5 divided by 1/3. I'm going to keep it, change it, and flip it. And I know that that would give me, if I multiply straight across, that will give me 15 over 1, which equals 15. Okay, so that's dividing a whole number by a fraction. Let's look at drawing a model for dividing a fraction by a whole number. So let's just take the reverse. Let's take 1/3 and divide it by 5. Now I'm going to draw a model of 1/3. So my tape diagram will be divided into 3 parts, and I'm going to only shade 1/3. So here's my model of 1/3. Now I'm dividing that 1/3 into 5 parts. So let's take this 1/3 and divide it into 5 parts. Didn't do that very evenly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 parts. Now, that's 1 unit. If I divided each of those thirds into 5 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, how many total parts would I have? I would have 15. Okay. And so one of those, I'm going to use a different highlighter to overlap. One of those parts that I divided into 5 is worth how much of the whole? That overlap is 1/15 of the whole, because there's 15 of those in the whole tape diagram, and I'm looking at just 1. That's 1/15. So if I do my model, or if I do my math, and I say keep it, change it, flip it, I should get 1/15. Another way you could draw this model that some of you liked is doing your like multiplication square. So I'm going to have a bigger rectangle, and I'm going to have this be thirds. And then going the other direction, I'm going to divide each third into fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I forgot to shade my third, so let's shade my 1/3. Here's my 1/3. And then I'm going to shade my 1/5. And where do they overlap? They overlap in this square, and that is 1 square out of how many total squares? 1 square out of 15. So either one of those models will work when you're dividing a fraction by a whole number. I'm going to show you one more for drawing a model for dividing a fraction by a fraction. So let's say 1/2 divided by 1/3. What is this question asking? It's asking how many thirds in 1/2. That's what it's asking. So I'm going to draw my model of 1/2. Let's draw my model of 1/2. Divide it into 2. I'm going to shade just 1/2. Now, if you want to do the math first to make sure that your model is going in the right direction, you can. So I know I'm going to keep it, change it, and flip it, and multiply straight across. So I'll get 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 1 is 2, and I can simplify that, and I should get 1 and 1/2 for my model. Okay, so now I'm going to divide my half into thirds. So how do I divide my half into thirds? Well, sorry, how do I divide my whole into thirds? That's not right. My whole into thirds. There we go. Divide my whole into thirds. So I have half, and then I divided my whole into thirds. Now, how much of the thirds do I have shaded? I have 1 whole third, but this is how you do the models that you're going to need to know for the module test coming up on Monday. Good luck.